Okay.
Brides is a film about friendship and belonging. It's a story of two 15-year-old girls from a seaside town in the UK and are essentially lost.
Things are not great at home. They're just as bad at school and they just don't fit in.
And they find themselves being really vulnerable to radicalisation and find themselves on a journey to kind of escape.
They make a really big decision to run away and they're heading towards the Syrian border, right into the lion's mouth.
We also see them as they kind of navigate their way through this country which is completely new to them, trying to survive, trying to make their way.
And it follows their friendship and their journey and their bond. And Muna is one of the two girls who goes out on this insane adventure. She has, you know, the tenacity, the street wisdom. She's clever and funny and she can charm her way through situations.
I was hearing a lot of conversations from people around me, but also in the media, about teenage girls who left the UK to join ISIS. Everybody seemed to have an opinion on it. But the reasons that people gave were either painting those girls as innocent victims of trafficking or evil terrorists who want to destroy the West. And I felt that actually the truth was a lot more nuanced than that and a lot more interesting. So I wanted to really get under the skin of some of those reasons, the push and pull factors.
As a director, this has been quite a journey. It is a long, slow process, but it really gets under your skin and it's part of who you are, and it's been an incredible privilege and adventure.
It's been wonderful working with Nadia on her first film. She's an incredible creative mind who has been brilliant working with our young actors.
Just like a quick glance or like a stare, dry stare.
The transition from theatre to film, there is a huge difference, and I think with film, every day is a surprise, every hour is a surprise, and the only thing you can guarantee is that nothing is guaranteed, and it's part of the fun, actually, it's part of the adventure. The thing that really I'm drawn to are actors and performance. I got to rehearse with my leads, which was incredibly important to me and them. I mean, Ibada, it was her first time acting, and I think that process really helped both of us.
So it goes kiss, go, Leo, and he grabs you.
It's been a journey. It's been enlightening, if anything. I feel like I really have learned a lot on the job. I never saw myself doing this, getting to travel for work like this, especially acting. It's honestly just wild to me that this is happening.
So today we are in a school in Wales. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name because I don't want to butcher it. And as you can hear, I've slightly lost my voice because I've been doing a bit of stunt acting today. There was a lot of shouting and swearing and screaming. But I physically settle a score with a bully in the school.
Carl's role in the film, he is sort of a bully. Of course, there is always more than meets the eye behind him. The sort of character work that I've done personally, I've grown him to sort of have a past that leads him to have this persona and attitude. It's really gripping, it really entices you in. There's funny moments in it, but it's also it's very real. Yeah, I'm excited to see it in the cinema. It's going to look great on the big screen.
I play Mr. Hansard, who's a kind of slightly ineffectual teacher. He's kind of at the end of his limit with what he can take, and when things start kicking off, he has to intervene and eventually gets his nose broken. It's great to work with a director who really understands actors, and Nadia really does, especially with a story like this that's so kind of complex and detailed and nuanced. To have someone who really understands actors is really important.
Well, it's Nadia's first feature film as well. Her coming from a theatre background, I think, has been pretty cool because she's given us that space to rehearse and She just enjoys being around actors, I can tell, and she really focuses on the performance. Safi has been kind of like my lighthouse in the dark with this. She's obviously a seasoned actor. She's already accomplished so much. Well, she's been my rock through this. Advice, acting-related stuff, non-acting related stuff, industry stuff. I think she's taught me loads. She's been great.
It's really, really good. Thank you. We'll do it one more time.
Oh, I love working with Nadia. It's really lovely being surrounded by an energy that is supportive, that is there for you, communicative, and I think that's so helpful in comforting, but also, you know, it helps you grow and learn when you have such love and support. The story does something interesting. One part, it addresses, you know, ISIS and recruitment, which is terrorism. But with the role of Zainab, you get to meet a different side of somebody who's religious, who believes in Islam. She helps the girls out. Yes, she's a believer, but she's not extremist. So I like what the story is doing, separating the two. So I'm happy we're telling the story both ways.
So Brides is set in the year 2015, which is when a lot of young people, especially young women, made that journey to Syria. And it's because at that point ISIS went on a very hard recruitment campaign of Western women online.
It is only 8 years ago, 9 years ago, but it's very easy to forget how much has changed. Also, 2015 was the year of like hijab experimentation, like people went a little crazy, and like things that were really like now don't feel like they're embarrassing, but the important thing that there was that women started to feel more comfortable.
Though we've gone for a very sort of fresh-faced, glossy look that's very innocent, young, and like very pure. For Muna's character, we've gone for a lot more sort of edgy and a bit more streetwise, but also a little bit grungy. Like she's sort of, it shows much more of an angrier character. So yeah, a little bit less kept and a little bit less caring about sort of society.
Okay, when we're ready.
It's been a huge challenge to shoot this film in 3 countries, relatively small production, so to be kind of spread across the globe. We started the shoot in Wales and filmed the UK portion around Cardiff, and then we moved on to Istanbul to shoot some of our key scenes in Turkey there. And then we're shooting the remainder of the road trip in Sicily, which is doubling for the portion of Turkey that's between the Istanbul and the Syrian border.
Well, the brilliant thing about this being my first feature was filming in 3 different countries. I didn't question it. Since then, everybody has said how crazy that is for a first feature, and I didn't know any better. I just was, you know, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed throughout it, and I love that though. I love that everybody's different way of doing things and different cultures and different processes actually inform this film. I think it's a really international film.
I hope that audiences who watch Brides feel that the characters of Doe and Muna are fully fleshed out teenage girls. I feel like we've had a barrage of newspaper headlines which demonise these girls over the years, and nobody's really taken the time to think about how they felt or to understand things from their points of view.
I hope that audiences get a different perspective on a story that they think they know. I hope that they can see how we all have a collective responsibility to young people in our society. We all have a responsibility to make them feel seen and heard.
There have been loads of headlines about the real-life young people that made that very fateful journey. Hundreds of young people from across Europe made their way to Syria for all sorts of myriad of reasons. But I hope that beyond those headlines of people like Shamima Begum, who are seen as an automatic monster, we see the human story, and that we are reminded of our own adolescence.
A lot of them were just children, and they're now being kind of judged and, you know, eternally kind of marked for those terrible decisions they made as children.
It's a surprise that any of us survived our adolescence, the impulse decisions we make as young people, because that's how our brain is hardwired to take risk and to feel things incredibly deeply. Brides is a particularly pertinent story for this moment in time. We need to remind people that we're all the same. We've got more in common than we have our differences.